Looking back at your work with the board over the last 2 years, what have been a few of your most memorable experiences?
Well, the first thing I remember is our Vancouver board meeting where we got rid of a huge barrier in the selection process for the new student board member. And it used to be that only East or West could apply each term. It was one or the other. But we voted on the matter and that barrier was removed, so now any student can apply each term, and that's huge. Something else I remember is going to board meetings and everybody always being really concerned and making sure I got there safely, especially when driving 4 hours or 5 hours to get to Spokane from Chehalis. And board members, especially Randy, making sure that I was fed during dinner. If I didn't have cash on me or something like that, he would always make sure I was covered. And that's something I'll never forget because it felt like everybody treated me like family, like a son. So that was something I really liked. Something I'm really proud of, that comes to mind is House Bill 1915, which was on financial education, and how I testified on it for the board. The board stance was other, but I remember it was one of my proudest moments where I looked really good and I was in a suit, and I went up to testify with just the script. That's all I had, but the script, no backup, just me and my thoughts, and I thought that was really great. Something else I'm really proud of with the board, I guess I'm proud of myself and proud of the board itself and everyone on it, is that I've grown up my life feeling too white for the Mexicans and too Mexican for the whites because I'm both equally and raised in both cultures. And the board doesn't make me feel that way. I've always felt confident and comfortable expressing both sides whenever it's deemed necessary. And I think that's really great about the board. And tying into that is the seal of biliteracy, which was a really big thing for me, especially starting out high school having to take Spanish class, even though I was fully fluent in Spanish, and it was kind of a waste of time, especially since I got a B because they taught Spain Spanish instead of Mexican Spanish, which is what I speak. Um, but then my school brought the seal of biliteracy, and I was able to take that past with flying colors, and all of a sudden I don't have to take the language credit requirement. And with that, I pushed and pushed for it to be required in all schools because why are we making students do something that's a waste of time when they're already more proficient than the teachers themselves, including students that don't speak the language and would like to learn and get more language credits than they could from 2 years. So I was really happy that the state finally passed a bill on that, and I felt heard and seen. Some ways I feel like I've personally grown is definitely global perspective. When I first started, every 16, 15-year-old thinks they know everything. And when I started, I definitely thought I knew everything, and I didn't think that I was like that, but everyone is until they realize later they were. And I thought I had a global perspective, but after serving the board for 2 years and traveling across the state, seeing so many different cultures all over the state from different countries and languages and ideas, I realized that no, I didn't. I actually have a lot to explore and a lot to learn and so much to see in the world. And that was really amazing. And I also feel like I've grown as an advocate and being able to talk for myself because honestly, I'm kind of an introvert. And when I come to the board, I put my board hat on and I'm able to be more open and talk more. But I've tried to mold that into my normal self outside of work. And I feel like that's grown a lot as well. Something really important is I want people to know we're here. We're the State Board of Education, and we are your advocates. We are your voice. You guys, we need people to come to us and tell us. Be honest, be opinionated, and be fair, but be strong in your speaking and talk to us. Your job is to speak, and if you guys don't talk, then how are we going to know anything, right? So I think it's important that people know we're here and that we are your voice in the legislature in the state, and we will advocate for you as strongly as we can with our authority. Honestly, just talk, constantly talk and be annoying, be loud, take over the room with your voice. Make sure everyone gets a chance to talk, but your job is your voice and that's your only way that's your number one priority. It's the only way you can get anything done is to talk and share your opinions, share your thoughts. And if you don't understand, ask questions. There's no shame in asking questions every 2 minutes, every 2 seconds. It's okay. And then understand that the first year and a half it's going to be hard and you're not going to understand anything. There's so many technical terms, policies, and technicalities of everything, that it's going to be a lot coming at you unless you have years of experience in policy and some kind of like political advocacy in school clubs or something like that. But it's going to be hard, and you're going to get it by the end of your term, but you're going to be leaving and you're going to be like, oh wait, I want to advocate so much on this because now I understand how everything works. But it's going to be the end of your term. So don't be disappointed. Be happy for what you were able to do, because you'll be able to do a lot, and appreciate the advocacy you left. So I'm going to go to Central Washington University, my dream school. Everybody that knows me knows I've been nagging about it for the past 4 years and complaining about wanting to be there already. I'm going to major in business administration and accounting, and minor in HR management or some type of managerial study. And after that, well, I plan to do one of those years in Japan, study abroad. And after that, I'm probably going to go to Japan and start a business there or here. I want it to be international since I speak 4 languages. And I want to get citizenship in Japan, France, and Spain so I can have multiple things to fall back on and multiple opportunities all over the world.